The Basic Structure of a Hypnosis Session by Stephanie Conkle. There are 6 very easy and simple steps to the basic structure of a hypnosis session. First, we'll start with the assessment phase, and then we'll move into the pre-talk, the induction, the deepener, suggestive therapy, until we finally emerge the client. Now, this is the same whether you're doing a clinical hypnotherapy session or a stage hypnosis session. Now, you won't do the assessment phase on stage, but pretty much everything else follows this order. The assessment phase is the time to get the client's background information and clarity on exactly what the client wants to achieve. Ensure that all the paperwork has been signed and all permissions to be hypnotized have been given. You may want to take money at this time. We'll go over that in a completely different video. But be sure to answer all questions they may have and begin to build rapport. A lot of the magic of hypnosis is actually done in the pre-talk. Maybe even the majority of the hypnosis is actually done in the pre-talk if you do a really great pre-talk. The purpose of the pre-talk is to build rapport, remove fear, really make the client feel comfortable, set expectations about what is going to happen, and you can also do a demo with a convincer, because if they can just see that, hey, this little thing actually works on me, then that just gives them more of a buy-in and helps build on the belief that the hypnosis will work and will work on them. So that brings us to the induction. The purpose of the induction is to bypass the critical faculty. Now, you may hear some people call it the critical factor or something else. I've heard it used both ways by people that I respect and admire in the industry. I usually just call it the CF when I'm maybe talking about it or typing it out. The critical faculty is the gatekeeper to the subconscious. It's that part of the mind that allows certain things to come in, and it stops other things from coming in, so that you're not just gullibly believing everything that tries to get into the mind. And it does a really good job. So part of the induction is to slip by that gatekeeper. The induction also relaxes the nervous system if you're in a clinical hypnotherapy setting, but it could also freeze the nervous system. So if you're in a stage hypnosis setting, and let's say you do an instant induction or a shock induction, that's going to actually shock the system. But the nervous system is going to be affected by the induction. The induction also ratifies expectations, with it being a ritual, so that it drops deeper into the belief system. And it also gives the hypnotist time to go into at least a light state of trance yourself. There is an expression that says the hypnotist always goes into trance first, or at least that's what should happen, because when you go into trance first, then it's so much easier to bring your client there and you can meet them right where they're at. The purpose of the deepener is to further the mind-body dissociation. Now, a deepener can be an induction, and an induction can be a deepener. But the purpose of it is to bring the client deeper and deeper into hypnosis so that they are further and further dissociated from the conscious mind. The deepener also allows time to get the client into the proper state of trance, whatever state or whatever level, whatever depth of trance you would like for them to get into. It gives you time for that. And it also allows time for the hypnotist to form ideas for what to do with the client in the next phase, because the next phase will be the therapy. And you can start to sort of gather your thoughts during this time. And the deepener kind of gives you time to do that. Now we get into the meat and bones of the session with the suggestive therapy. So here we will give suggestions, and they can either be authoritative or permissive, direct or indirect, or a combination of all of them. I usually use a combination, but I do like to check in with my client just to see how they respond. Some people respond better with authoritarian language, and other people would prefer permissive and indirect language. Here we'll do the trance work, and the trance work could consist of stories or metaphors. It could be parts work, gestalt chair therapy, timeline therapy, future pacing, catharsis, or other healing techniques. This is the part of the session where newbies may actually read from a script until they learn other techniques. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Now that you're finished with the hypnotic change work or given the suggestions, it is time to awaken the client. This is sometimes called trance termination. A lot of hypnotists like to say emerge instead of awaken because there's a debate on whether it's sleep or not. But for simplicity's sake, we'll use the word awaken. Before you awaken them out of trance, however, you want to be sure that you clear out any post-hypnotic suggestions that would not be useful to the client or subject post-session. Now, you're going to be giving them plenty of post-hypnotic suggestions that will be fantastic, but there may be a few in the beginning that you would want to clear out. This is especially important for stage hypnotists. You probably won't have to really worry about it that much as a clinical hypnotherapist. Make sure that you give post-hypnotic suggestions for safety, and we'll go over that in another video in more detail, before you awaken and emerge the client from hypnosis. And then just be careful what you say over the next 10 to 15 minutes as the client or the subject is still in a light state of trance and is still susceptible to everything you say. Now, to quickly recap, we have the assessment phase, the pre-talk, the induction, the deepener, the suggestive therapy, and then you'll finally awaken the client. That's it. 6 simple steps. How easy is that?